Hello guys!
Hello everyone!
Welcome back to our new episode. We hope you had a nice week. We had like a lot of family time this week. Paulina turned 8, so we had birthday celebrations and all that stuff. And yeah, we took a week off, basically from filming. So we won't show you about our week. We are going to show you something different. We are going to show you around our food forest. We haven't done that in a while. So we think it's about time that we show you how everything is doing. Give you a little bit like a status report. And yeah, before we start that, there's some things we need to tell you. And while we do that,
We start with animals.
right, so enjoy the animals. And yeah, what we are wanting to tell you is that first, when we came here, which was like 10 months ago, this was basically monoculture plantain. Some other stuff, but basically it was all plantain. So what we are doing is transforming it in a food forest full of variety. And yeah, 10 months is also not quite correct, because really we started planting like in April, when the rain started. So yeah, the age of the food forest is more like 5 to 6 months really, so to keep that in mind. And yeah, another thing is that most of the trees, like 95% or more, we got from seed ourselves. So we collected seeds and we got our little trees and we planted them in the food forest. There's like three trees we have been buying, but just recently, like a little bit more than a week ago. And some we got from cuttings, and some we got gifted by the neighbors, but they were also very small. So yeah, that explains that the trees are like pretty small, but we are very happy with the progress. And yeah, another thing which we have to mention beforehand is that at this moment it's a very difficult battle with the weeds, which we are losing a little bit. So just so you know why it's looking so wild all over. But yeah, as you might know, I was been having problems with my knees and still am having problems, so I can't work as much as before. And also we feel like it's like the wettest period we've been having so far. Lots of water coming down from the sky, and of course with so much water, what's growing best are the weeds. So yeah, it's a little bit overgrown in many parts. We try to keep at least our trees a little bit free from that, but at this moment I can't keep up with everything. So yeah, it's looking a little bit wild, but nevertheless, I would say let's start the tour.
Let's start.
So we are doing this like in different zones. That's also when we are like planting, we think of different zones. So the first one is this strip down here. Yeah, we are quite close on this side to the fence. On the other side there's our chicken pen. And yeah, in this area we planted quite some stuff. There's a lot of different stuff growing. Yeah, obviously there are the plantains as basically everywhere. There are quite some papaya trees, some bigger ones which were already there, and some smaller ones we planted. Also there we have the only place where we really have the red bananas. We already took like these shoots and planted in other places, but they are still very small. But here are the only ones which are really producing. We planted peppers, some pepper plants which are growing nicely, a few cocoa plants, not too many, but later on we are going to plant more there. We have a beautiful avocado tree, some smaller coconut palms. Just recently we planted curcuma here, which we got from the neighbors. There is a ginger growing. There are some guava trees, and yeah, on the lower part we have a lot of cassava and pineapples. And what is very nice here is that we started on the upper part, and we just dispersed some marigold seeds. And yeah, now they are slowly by themselves moving downhill. And yeah, that's somehow the aim, that at some point we will have them all over without doing the job of planting them all over. And I think it's working out quite well. What else do we have here? Well, there's quite a few ice cream bean trees, the guamo trees, but we didn't plant them. It's like we eat them, and we just toss the seeds out. And yeah, there are now quite a few trees, and they're also like very close to each other, so it's definitely too much. But yeah, it doesn't matter. They are still small, and they also have they are good for the soil. They are improving the soil. So for now, we just let them grow. Probably at some point we have to remove some, but at this point it's just fine. And there's also one of our like failed experiments here, like the tree tomatoes, which really are not growing very well. They don't like our climate here. I think it's too hot and sometimes too wet, so they really don't like it. It's not working out very nicely. But yeah, maybe in the future we are going to try it again, but for now it's not working out. And also on the lower part we have some pumpkin as a ground cover. So that was like the first zone until here, where we come to the spot where we have been planting corn and beans. We are thinking about making some tomato tipis here. We are preparing tomato plants. Let's see if we get this to work. And yeah, here we got a big papaya tree already producing, which was here already. And yeah, the next part is from here where we are standing down to the border of our land. And here yeah, is where the best plantains are coming from, the most beautiful plantains and biggest. And we also planted a lot of stuff there, but it's very young stuff. Just recently, like a month and a half, 2 months ago, we planted this stuff, like lots of fruit trees and cassava also. But here at the beginning we just concentrated on keeping it a little organized and letting a lot of the stuff which is already there, like the native flora, regrow, which has been working very nicely. There are lots of trees already at the huge trees already again, and other plants. And yeah, it's the jungle feeling is coming back, I would say, and that's very nice. And our fruit trees will be a great addition to that. So now we saw this zone and we go to another. It's always again uphill, and if we look there, I think we can see pretty good where our land stops. It's like where the green stops. Like yeah, I don't really like, or we don't really like how the neighbors handle their land. Like once or twice a year they just chop down everything to sow a huge area of corn, of cassava, or anything, even rice. And yeah, we don't really like that way to do it. But yeah, We do it our way, they do it their way. And yeah, here is like, yeah, almost a corner of our land. It's until the like these bigger trees. And but the part over there, we don't touch it, we leave it. We are going to show you later. It's like another stripe which we leave as a reserve. And here we got a already quite nice mango tree. It's just a little deformed, which we didn't plant. It was already there, but it was like not even my height, and now it's huge. And in the background you see a breadfruit tree, which is yeah, very big. It was also pretty small when we came here, so they grew amazing. We have another already bigger breadfruit tree. And yeah, here it's basically the same as the zone before. We planted some fruit trees, but these are already bigger because we planted this side earlier. And we also letting the stuff which is already there, not all of it, but some of it, letting it regrow. And yeah, we can already see that there are big trees again, or bigger trees. They will grow a lot higher. But yeah, when we came here, basically the only thing you could see was plantain, a few trees, like the ones which are really high at the moment, but the rest, it was all chopped to the ground, and we just let it grow. And it's amazing how it's recovering. We are so happy about that. Yeah, and also some color other than green is coming back, which is amazing, which you also want. So we showed you this zone. Now here we got another patch on this side, on the other side, where we have some cassava growing. And up there you see this, like all these cords. There we have the beans growing. And yeah, on top of that, there we are already back at the chicken coop. And yeah, we'll show you the beans, and then we are going to this zone here on the side. There's some other varieties of plantain growing, which we are going to show you, different shape. And yeah, we also got cassava growing there. We planted some fruit trees, some native trees, which are, yeah, also pretty young still, so pretty small. And yeah, there we also are letting regrow the stuff. And behind that, we already told you there's like this stripe of yeah, reserve for wildlife, which we are also going to show you. So, just to not get lost, now that we're on top again, all this strip down here is what we just looked at. On this side, where it's going down, is the part we leaving untouched, like our reserve, one of them. And on the other side here is one of the few parts which we also cleared completely, because we also want to grow some corn here. And yeah, we Anjul and Paulina did that. They sowed the red corn, and so far it's looking quite promising. So we're still inside the, like, this corn area. On this side, there you can see the house. And here we got cassava growing all the way down, and it's already huge, and we're already collecting from here. And in between the cassava we also planted the corn as well. And here, this is one of the trees. We have that grew best. It's one of these guamo trees, the ice cream beans. But it's a different variety from the ones we have. We got it from a neighbor. We didn't get this from seed ourselves, but when we got it, it was like this height. So it has been growing amazingly. And what we did here was this planting hole Ellen White method, which is a great way to plant fruit trees or trees in general. It's a lot of work, but we think it's really worth it. We didn't do it for all trees, obviously, because it's so much work and it requires a lot of material as well. But yeah, if you're interested, a while back we made a video on that, and yeah, just check out our playlist and you can find it there. So, but before we go back to the house, we are looking this side of the land. Like this is designed to be the garden area, and we also planted a lot of fruit trees in this spot here where there are no patches. There's a lot of maracuja growing, which we can already collect. In the fence we planted the beans and the runner beans. And yeah, the point is, in our vegetable garden, in the patches, there's really not too much growing. It's not going so well. Also, we have so much work to do. We don't have that much time to look after the garden. So yeah, basically we have flowers, we have peppers, we have some spinach, and yeah, some herbs, and not too much more. And at this moment we are also thinking about maybe, don't pursue the idea of having a garden anymore, but just making one huge food forest and also grow the vegetables inside the food forest system. Don't have a garden space apart from that. So that's probably our plan for now, which we are going to try. Which we think might be the better idea. Still, we are going to show you everything that's going on in the garden and in the part behind it. In the garden area we have another patch which we cleared to sow corn and more cassava. The corn you can also already see, it's just quite recently we planted it. In the lower part we wanted to have corn as well, but it didn't work out very well, and so for now we only have like cassava and pumpkin growing there. And here on the other side is like the border of our land, and since the neighbors are also thinking about chopping down everything there, they already started on this side. We started doing like a living fence. We planted a lot of the fruit trees which we had left over, which we didn't want to plant in other parts, and some other non-fruit trees. We planted them very densely. We planted some other native plants and started it there. We are like maybe halfway there. There's still some part missing, and on the end of this on the land there we have another huge area where we are not doing anything, where we just let nature do its thing. And it's one other of these wildlife reserves we want to create. So now we are going back to the house, and directly after the garden area we have this spot. You can't really see anything right now besides maybe the plantain, but there's a lot of yam growing here. And on this part, on the lower part, we have the cassava as well, and we also planted some fruit trees in there. There's lemon trees, there's a avocado tree, and we got these native plum trees as well, which we put in like in the swale. And on the way to the house we had this idea, we already showed that quite some time, that we want to line the path with papaya trees and pineapples, and we also started to plant physalis. The pineapple and the papaya is working just nicely. They grew already very nicely, but the physalis is very difficult. At the beginning they grew very nicely, but the bigger they get, the more problematic it is. And if they have fruits and we think, oh, now we can collect, and there's just no fruit anymore, it always gets stolen by some insects. So we have a lot of plants, and until now we could eat like 5 of the fisales. So we were hoping for more, but yeah, it's at least it's a start. So we're back at the house. This is like the kitchen, and yeah, it might seem a complete mess here, and it is, to be honest, but inside here there's also so much food growing. It's amazing. Like here directly in front of me we can collect the first peppers already. So there's peppers growing in there, like our most beautiful pumpkins we get from here, and there's so much more. Like, well, this was already there. It's like a soursop tree, the one that is best producing fruit, and we have so much more in here. There's little papaya trees, there's so many peppers, there's beans, and a lot more fruit trees like guava, also the ice cream beans. It's just like from the kitchen there are so many seeds been throwing out, and yeah, there's so much stuff growing. It's always a surprise, and we somehow also use that as a nursery. When we want to plant like papaya, guava, even lemon trees or the peppers, we come here and we look for small plants, and they're already like this size, sometimes papaya trees even that high. So it's amazing. We can get them out there and transplant them anywhere on our land. It's like, yeah, the best way. So now we live on the other side of the house. This is where our little chicks are at. They are doing very nice, are growing very nicely. And first we are going to look this side. It's a small like stripe here, and yeah, here we got our only producing guava tree, which was already there. We could harvest a lot of guavas here, which was very nice, and there we get our huge bunches of bananas from. On this side is where we started planting, so here the stuff is already a little bit bigger. Yeah, we have nice cocoa trees here already. We at this moment we have pumpkin all over. It's like it's only 2 plants, but they took over the whole slope there. It's amazing. Well, they are not really producing anything yet, but really it doesn't matter because they are covering the ground so nicely. So yeah, we love that. We also started to plant cassava there just recently. It's not that big yet, but we have also some fruit trees there, like breadfruit. We have lemon trees, a lot of guava trees which are looking very promising, papaya trees which already grew very nicely. We have some ginger growing there, and yeah, recently we also planted some spinach and some herbs and more flowers and stuff. The children lining the path planted a lot of flowers. So we've seen this side. Now we are going to look at the other. Well, directly here we have a lot of cassava growing, which you also can already collect from, and we also planted more fruit trees and cocoa trees. Like this corner here, it's okay, but going uphill again, it's like, yeah, like one of the most problematic zones. It's not looking very good. There's not growing too much, so we have to get something growing there to also have some more shade for this area. Over there we also have a tamarind tree, which, yeah, we got it tiny like this, and it has been growing, but it surely is a tree which is very slow in growing. And yeah, we will have to have a lot of patience with that. Also here we planted a star fruit tree which we bought like last week, which seemed to like its place. And we got some more ginger, and we planted a few coconut, little coconut palms, yeah, more or less to line like this path here. And this lower part here where we are now is like where we planted a lot of yam, and in the upper part we planted the sweet potato, and they like took over the whole slope. It's crazy how they were growing, but just recently we had to like chop a lot of it down because it was mixed with these weeds and stuff, and it was a complete mess. So I hope I didn't hurt them too much and they will recover, but I think yes, they are quite a resistant plant, so I think they will come back. So what's now missing is like looking at the lower part there. And first of all, we got a huge mango and a huge guamo tree there, which were already there, and they are huge, they are amazing, producing a lot. And in the lower part there, we got more cassava. And yeah, down there we made also a pond which is not holding the water, very good. And yeah, we planted more fruit trees and more stuff, not only fruit trees, also peppers and some herbs and native trees. And over there we can also see some like the first tree we planted, a zapote tree which we got as a gift from our neighbor. And we got a few very nice avocado trees there, which are already quite big. And more stuff, but like there to the border of the land, just recently we also planted more trees, and they are very small still. And there we also got cocoa, and we tried to also get some pumpkin growing. So there's two more things we want to show you. First one is this bamboo here, which we planted ourselves. We just, from the neighbors, we cut a piece of a big bamboo stick, and yeah, we had it rooting, and look now, it's like, I don't know, that might have 8 months maybe, and it's growing huge already. So yeah, we are very happy about that. The next one is, here we have this beautiful sugar cane, and at the beginning we were thinking, we started here expanding the sugarcane area, but yeah, we got more, but now we changed our mind. We also now are going to plant it all over. It's like it's for next year probably, but that's what we are going to do. Not like a area of sugarcane, but more like integrated also in the food forest. So that's one of our plans for next year as well. So that was the tour for today. We hope you liked it. We are quite happy with the progress we made so far. Of course, there's a lot of stuff to do, and stuff that is not working out like we wanted it to be, like the pond, like yeah, some trees are still very little, but yeah, we need to have patience. As we told you, it has just been 5 to 6 months since we started planting. So yeah, it will take its time. Also, that we planted everything from seed, like most of the trees we put like this size inside the ground. So yeah, it will take its time. I'm sure next year at this time it will look very different already. So yeah, soon like in 1 maybe 2 months the dry season awaits us. So it will be our first complete dry season. We will have to see how we are going to manage that. It will be also a new experience, but well, we will talk about that when it's coming, right? And yeah, that's it for this week. And don't forget to leave us a like if you did like our video, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it yet. And well, if you like our project and want to help us out, want to support us, want to support our chickens, get some food, or want us to continue sowing more trees and stuff, you can help us out buying us a coffee. That would be great. We are always very thankful for that. And yeah, if not, we are going to see you next week, I would say. So have a nice week. Bye bye.
Bye.